Holy shit, what a weekend I had. It was fabulous. It was amazing. I honestly have no complaints. I really have no complaints. It was a smooth. You know what? Hold on one second. All right. That's better. All right. It was a smooth, awesome experience. And I would love to do it again sometime. So let's talk about it. Do 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 do. Josh's Order Corner. So, Creature Feature Weekend. It was this past weekend in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, at the Wyndham of Gettysburg. So that would have been the 17th through the 19th, and it was fantastic. I have my haul of goodies here. I'm going to do my best to get like little chapter things going on so you can jump from vendor grabs to autographs and all that shit. Wish me luck. I think it should only be like 3 chapters, but whatever. A little bit about it. How did I hear about it? It was from a Facebook ad advertising that Brad Greenquist would be there, who played Pascal. And I was very interested as soon as I saw that he was going to be there. And then there was the makeup opportunity, and I was like, holy shit. And then not long after that, Danny Lloyd from The Shining was added, and it was, I've got to do this. I don't like conventions. I don't like large groups of people. I've been to Horror Hound. It was not for me. It smelled bad. Creature Feature was something that I was interested in, but it was the encouragement of my fiance Emily that really got me to pick up and go. Without her pushing, I would not have done this. So big thanks to her and her continued support and all of this shit that you see around me. Craig, the man behind the curtain, I applaud you. Like, what an amazing job you did. And Craig, I'm just going to throw this out there. If you happen to see this, if there's ever anything I can do to help you out from a social media perspective, or anything really, if you're looking for help for next time, I'm sure you get this all the time. Shoot me a message, man. Let's talk about it. Let's see what I can do. Uh, the experience was great. I said I didn't have any complaints. Probably a lie. I mean, there was 2 things that I can think of that I wish would have been handled differently, but it really wasn't fault of anyone. I just don't like food trucks, so food trucks being the only option was kind of a pain in the ass. And I was so excited for the makeup opportunity with Brad Greenquist. Now, I'm not being forced or made to do this, but I'm going to interrupt myself right there because it was brought to my attention that I was, a bit too harsh given the lack of understanding I have on what went into the makeup experience. So JB over at Camp Nightmare, I talked to him Sunday before I left. He was a really cool dude, and it just the short conversation we had, I respected him, and he pointed out that I was kind of a dick in my feelings about the experience with the makeup tutorial. Now, I did not enjoy it. I thought it was a bummer, a letdown, but it was more situational than anything else. Like, I really don't have the right to take it out on the co-hosts who are from Jersey Ghouls and Horror Movie Night. I looked into it to make sure I got that right. They were kind of thrown into it without a lot of preparation. So, did I expect Mary Lambert to come lead it? Did I expect Stephen King to come lead it? No. There were 2 people who were trying to get questions from the audience. The questions weren't really flowing, and it was kind of like pulling teeth to get people from the audience to interact. That's not their fault. I shouldn't say apparently, I had higher expectations than how it played out, and instead of having my eyes open to the fact that there was a lot of moving pieces to it, I blamed the people hosting it, and that wasn't exactly fair. So having Horror Movie Night reach out to me directly and point some things out, and having Jersey Ghouls, I don't like using people's names, so I feel bad that I did for Camp Nightmare, sorry. And then having Jersey Ghouls kind of reach out and let me know their thoughts on what I had said politely, very politely. I want to make that clear. Had me kind of rethinking my stance on it, my opinion. And the last thing I want to do is bring other people down or shit on people just because I had a bad experience. I'm not that selfish of a person. And I'm not too proud to say, hey, maybe I was too harsh with my words. I was too harsh with my words. I want to correct that. The makeup experience was great. Seeing it come to life was awesome. If it would have been more interactive, which was part of the crowd's responsibility, it would have been 10 times better. So that being said, I want to make sure that I throw links for those two podcasts in the description below, so check them out. And think before you speak, especially if you're doing videos like this and things of that nature. Think before you speak, and if you're going to get called out on it, be prepared to either stand your ground or listen and truly understand what someone's telling you and decide, are they right? And in this case, they were. But out of a whole weekend, if those are the only two things that I'm complaining about, I think that is amazing. Would I do it again? Absolutely. Absolutely. 10,000% yes. So what events did I partake in? I'm going to cheat. Friday night, they had the Killer Klownz from Outer Space showing of the movie and the panel, the commentary, live commentary with the Chiodo brothers, with the actors, and it was excellent. It gave me such a new appreciation for that movie. I really loved that experience. I sat right in front of them. I did buy the VIP. We'll talk about what was included in that. There was the VIP section that I only noticed on Friday, so I don't really know if that went away or if, I don't know what the deal was. But it didn't really matter in the end. So I was sitting right in front of them during the commentary, and it was hilarious. There was the VIP mixer with food from the Necro Nom Nom Nomicon guys. The food was, it was okay. It was okay. The drinks were good. Tim Balme was walking around, hanging out with people there. So that was a really cool experience. They had the showing of The Shining with Danny Lloyd. And I don't want to go into too much detail on it because it was a very unique experience and I'm selfish. It was so cool. It was his first time. He spoke to this. It was his first time seeing it on the big screen. And he kept reminding us, I was 5 years old at the time. I don't remember everything. And then something interesting happened towards the end of the movie where he ended up leaving early. And it was a moment, man. It was a special moment that not many people will have had the chance to experience. And I'm honored that I was able to see that movie with him on the big screen for my first time, too. But it was interesting. I'll say that much. Earlier in the day was the Pascal makeup. I spoke to that. It looked cool. It looked great. There was the panel for Hocus Pocus. I kind of sat in there for a little bit. I did jump over to watch one of the movies. Let's see if I can find the name of it here. Things We Cannot Change. I watched a bit of that. It was cool. I didn't see enough of it to see how it ended, but it was a cool movie. When I got there on Friday, it was looking around at the vendors. I saw some really cool stuff from the vendors, and Terra Nada, I believe, is the name of one of the stores. Yeah, Terra Nada. They do these skulls, like resin stuff inside, and I grabbed something from them as quick as I could. I had seen it on their website, and I was so happy that I got it. So check them out. I'm going to start taking notes here so I remember who all I praise and tell you to check out so I can put them in the description below. Terra Nada. So yeah, I wandered around there. I saw all that stuff, and I was so stressed out to get my stuff signed. I had a lot of stuff with me, things for myself and some things for some friends, and I had a plan of attack that fell apart as soon as I got there in the best way possible. We'll talk more about the autographs in a minute. I was there all weekend. I ended up leaving early Sunday because I got everything I needed. So let's show you the stuff from VIP, and then stuff I got from the vendors, and then the autographs, which I'm sure is everyone's really wanting to see. I am stoked on the autographs I got for myself. I'm not showing any of the ones I got for friends, just the stuff for myself. VIP was 125, I believe. It was about $75 more than your standard ticket. And there wasn't a lot of information about what it entailed. The only place that I could find information was in the the group, the Facebook group, I believe, in the description there. So I knew there was a T-shirt and some other little things. So this was the T-shirt, and you actually got to pick what shirt you wanted. They had a wall of shirts, so that was cool. This was a surprise item that people, I and myself, were very happy about. A little tote bag. It is good quality. It's not your typical tote bag. So that was cool. There was this rad little cup with this nice green hue at the bottom, and it does say Creature Feature Weekend there. I don't know if anything I can do will help because of the shitty ass lighting. And there was this pin. So I was happy about that. I early entry on Friday for the vendors, so you could kind of have prime real estate getting in. And I needed to get in early because I wanted a Lawnmower Blade from Tim Balmain. Spoiler alert, did not happen on day one. You'll learn more about that later. Other vendors that I got to see. Horror Gods. They were a vendor that I met when I did my signing with Felissa Rose and Dave Sheridan in New Jersey. They were set up for this event, and I snagged this shirt from them. A nice hip-hop inspired, if you remember the works of Juvenile and those bands from back in the day. This is featuring Riz the Great, Don't Trip with the Horror Gods. So I snagged this off of them. I wanted to support someone that I knew was doing cool things and has been at it for quite some time. So I'll put a link for their information below. Let me show you the other piece I got from them as well. I tried to get stuff organized here, but the other thing I got from them came with this. Admit 1 to the sneak preview of Stab, as well as a Stab sticker, a Stabter, if you will, and this rad pin. Now, the cool thing about Horror Gods is they do these pins here that have motion. Whoop, 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 whoop. So he's going to stab you. And I just thought that was really cool. I thought that who doesn't want a stabby pen there? So there you go. From there was a vendor who was selling just some random pieces. I actually picked this up from him on Sunday. If you know me, there are two things that I love more than just about anything, and that is The Strangers and Stephen King. So I picked up, as I drop stuff because of my lack of organization, I picked up this Laserdisc set of Stephen King's The Stand. It includes Chapter 7. It is the full set. I passed on it at first, but then I decided to go back and get it on Sunday. He'd already taken it out to his car, thinking it was not going to sell. What am I going to do with it? I don't know, man. I don't know. But it was cool. I love it. I have the autograph from Jamie Sheridan and Ruby D in the other room, so maybe I'll find a way to incorporate those onto here. Additionally, from that same booth, like I said, The Strangers and Stephen King. So I got this. A nice little movie theater gift that they would give during a showing of The Strangers. So I might try to incorporate this with my Liv Tyler autograph upstairs. Stoked. That was just from, I know the vendors all have names. Unfortunately, I did not catch who it was. Additionally, on Sunday, I got this guy right here. And come on. There we go. That's not bad. This is from inkmares.com. This is not a toy, mind you. If we look there, what this is the oil slick from Creep Show 2, episode The Raft. Now, this is going to be very difficult to show you. Come on. Come on. But you see the hand in there, very reminiscent of the death of that young lady right there. So I'm very, very happy about this. It was just a cool... Oh boy, what else? So I picked up this shirt. It was from a vendor whose name I did not capture. I wanted to get it for Emily, but they did not have it in her size, so I got it for me. Have the day you deserve. I cannot wait to wear this. Makes me happy. Let's see. Pick the right attack here. I was walking around and there was this dude who was super rad. He just had a great personality. And I picked this up off of him. I was looking at his stuff and he's like, do you read? I was like, actually, yes, I do. And he had quite a few books. It is the John Wayne Communal. I grabbed this one from him based off his recommendation, The Cadillac Man. Good does not exist. There is only the ever-swirling chaos of evil lurking just beyond the veil of our perception, waiting to strike arbitrarily without purpose or reason. When evil throws its wiry tentacles out into our world, leaving an inky black sludge of death, sadness, and destruction in their wake, it's done not out of maliciousness, but at random with no forethought, no agenda. I highly suggest you check it out. He did sign this for me. He got my name and signed it to Josh, and you can see it in there. It says to Josh, but I absolutely love how he went crazy with that signature. It's amazing. I can't wait to check this out. He also had these limited edition bookmarks. It's a nice metal bookmark, and he is in a band. John Wayne is Dead, so check them out as well. Yeah, make sure I'll put him down there. John Wayne is Dead. Kind of like a Ramones-style punk band. And there's his ad there. John Wayne Communal, author, musician, awesome dude for life. JohnWayneIsDead.com. Podcasts. Vitals. And more. But yeah, quite a few books on there. And he had more. So check him out. Let's see what else here. I'm saying a lot. I apologize. Buffalo Bill's house was there. Buffalo Bill's house is a bed and breakfast that is in the house from Sounds of the Lambs. And they were also at that convention where I met Felissa and Dave Sheridan. So it was awesome seeing them again. Still at it. Got to talk a little about the Faces of Horror contest. More information is going to be coming out about that in the future. But they spoke highly of it. So that was cool to see. And then this one right here. Editing this in because the first view of it looked like shit. This is Camp Nightmare. This is a nice pen that Bree gave me. Her and her husband were manning the table while the guys from the podcast were out and about. Thank you so much. It was great meeting all of you. These dudes also got to take part in the judging of the costume contest with some of the cast from Killer Klowns from Outer Space. And I gotta say, all due respect, the little kid that was Tim Balme from Dead Alive, he got robbed. Wednesday did not deserve the crown. But check out Camp Nightmare. Highly recommend. You may recognize this ring that I wear all the time, but I also picked up a pinky ring. I've been wanting a pinky ring for quite some time, so I'm stoked to have this. Let's throw some stuff at you real quick here. There we go. Buffalo Bill's house. I'm not advertising that one. Zombieservo.com. They had a lot of old VHSs. It was a really cool booth that they had, and he was working with his son, and I loved that. Father-son little action out there. Tattoo artistry, art and mixed media, video and music editing. Don't Ghoul, Be a Creep. Be Ghoul, Don't Be a Creep. There was the Night Watchman was a movie that was showing. Comedy of Horrors. And then here's an ad for that Camp Nightmare. This guy, I'm going to butcher his name because I suck at pronunciations, but he is Jason Seaux, S-E-A-U-X, is the artist for the reboot of Necroman comic series through Paranoia Comics. He's worked for God Awful Comics and other indie publishers. This was a design that he came up with for Creature Feature. and I loved it. He signed it down there at the bottom for me, and he had the full print as well. The sizing is off. It is 911 by 17. It's a bit bigger, so it might be a pain in the ass to frame, but I'm going to figure something out. But he signed that. He numbered it for me, so that's number 3 of 25. And then he threw this in as well. It also was printed a little shitty, so he just tossed it in there as a freebie, which I appreciate, you know? I'll find something to do with it. I'll put it somewhere nice. All right. I did one photo op, and that was the photo op that made me go to this event, and it was with Brad Greenquist. So there we have it. How about that'll be fine. That's good enough. I did not get it signed. I'm going to find a way to frame it up with my piece that I did get signed, so it can be together. And that, my friends, is the merch haul. Let's talk about the autographs. All right, so fine. Let's talk about the autographs that I got. That's probably what everybody really wants to see. Now, I got there Friday with the full intention of getting there early to get the Dead Alive Lawnmower Blade for my buddy Chuck over at For Horror's Sake. And unfortunately, on the way there, I found out that they weren't going to have them. So what I ended up doing was, you know what? It's his story to tell. I've shared the story with enough people already. I can't wait for him to see what I did for him. And then Tim was able to fulfill some orders for the blade that he had done the next day. So both of those are going to be going to Chuck. Stoked. The first autograph I got when I walked in the door, I feel that some folks may laugh at me, but he was so nice. He was standing there just like hanging out, having a good time, and I walk up to his table, and he says, "Hi, what's your name?" I said, "My name's Josh." And he's like, "Josh, when's the last time you watched Friday the 13th? And it was a great conversation. R.A. Lehman, this one got a little smudged, but it was free with the purchase of this, which was actually a goal item of mine. I really wanted this. It's signed by Ari and his drummer. This is the first Jason single that includes the Price of Peace as well as Scapegoat. I was tempted to order this when they had it available online, and I didn't. So the fact that he had him at the table made me really happy. So I got this, talked to him a minute. I did get to see First Jason Saturday night, and it was cool. It's honestly like he gets such a bad rap in the collecting world because he'll sign everything, but he's just so nice. It's like he signs everything not for the dollar, but for the experience of talking to people. So I got this nice First Jason Creature Feature Weekend 2023 bracelet. Stoked on that. And then at the end of their set, he gave me this, and the band signed it. So you got Eddie Machete over here, the guitarist. Jason 1 up there, Mr. Ari Lehman. Lehman, rhymes with demon. He corrected me on that. And then bass, I can't think of his last name, but that was the drummer. So that was very cool. It was a really cool experience. What do you think? Let's do the folks that I have one piece to show you first, and then I got so many autographs, and you're going to be like, no, you didn't. But I have stuff over there for my friends that I got for them, and then my stuff right here. And I'm only showing you my stuff. Andrew Hebetsik, that's how you say his last name, was so kind, so nice, and he haunts your nightmares as Zelda. I finally came back for you, his signature and Zelda, on this amazing Serial Resonance Collective Distinctive Dummies doll, number 30 out of 50. So I got him to sign that for me. He was super cool about it. He complimented the design. He thought the doll was really cool. So I finally came back for you. Let's go ahead. The longest line and the highest price was right here. Mr. Doug Jones. Wench Trollop on this awesome Handmade by Robots doll. And then on this side, I asked him to do the doodle, and he had no idea what I was talking about. And then he remembered and was like, oh yeah, I'll do that for you. It's going to be crude. Doug Jones was super nice. Everybody was super nice. But Doug, I had been like in line for like a half hour and I was like shaking my markers, getting them ready. They were in my hands, so they were staying warm. And he's like, "These are very warm." And I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, that seems creepy. And he's like, "No, it's nice. It's comforting." And he's like, "I didn't think that you had them shoved in a bad place," or something along those lines. After he signed, he got up and came around the table and gave me a hug, and was like, he like cradled my face and told me not to pee on the floor. And he was just nice. He seemed very genuine. So it was a very awesome experience meeting him. Doug Jones, legendary. He did mention that there is a Nosferatu movie coming up that he stars in, and the trailer should be dropping very soon if it has not already. And even cooler, I just won from Handmade by Robots, like a limited edition Killer Clowns from Outer Space, the truck, the ice cream truck. Kind of bummed I didn't have that in time because that would have been really cool to take. Let's talk about this one here. Probably the least friendly of the people that I met. I asked him for an inscription I'd never seen him do before, and he was like, "What?" Like, just something a little bit different than the usual. And he's like, "I mean, I'll write whatever you want me to." So I'm like, "Okay." So I asked him for "Rest in Peace, Judith," because he killed his sister, and I don't think he remembered that. I mean, he didn't, but you're supposed to believe he did. Will Sandin, Michael, age 6. I got one of these signed for a friend of mine. I'm kind of bummed because the way he wrote age, it just looked kind of sloppy. It looked like it was AGG6. It didn't look like an E. Whatever. I sent the picture of it to my dude, and he was happy with it. At the end of the day, that's all that matters. My Danny Lloyd pieces, I'm so happy with how they turned out. I handed him this, and he was like really confused. And I asked him, like, "Do you get it? Like, do you recognize it?" And he's like, "Yeah, I remember him being on the set." So we got, let's see here if I can make sure that this doesn't reflect too terribly. It's Just Like Pictures in a Book from Tony. Danny Lloyd, "You're scared of room 237, aren't you?" On this Calumet baking powder can. He said he'd never signed one before. He was not the first person that told me he'd never signed something I was giving him before. So that was awesome. White was probably not the smartest choice, but I also really love the way the white looks on it. So, happy with it. I also brought this. This is a Volkswagen Beetle, a 1987 67 rather, Volkswagen Beetle. This is the make and model of the car that Jack Nicholson drove them to the hotel in. So, right across the top there, we have Danny's signature. And then on the hood, of course, red rum. Sick. I am so happy about both of these pieces. And 2 left. Victor Pascal. This is our LBD figure that was made prior to the convention. LBD Designs was able to give him one of the figures, so that was really cool. I got to talk to them a little bit at their table. They were great. They were awesome. Highly recommend you check them out. Link in the description below. So on this one, we went with The Ground is Sour. And right there we have it. And then, obviously, a lot of you know the main reason, well, the main piece that I took to get signed was something that I made all by myself. And I can't begin to explain to you the excitement when I got to his table. I was one of the first people to have him sign, and I was fumbling. I was nervous to show it to him, and nobody was behind me, so I knew I had some time. And he was like, what do you got there?" I was like, "I made these." And before I could tell him what it was, he was like, "Are these the Funko Pops?" I was like, "What?" And he's like, I don't use social media very often, but I saw these posted. I think it was on Facebook. I'm so sorry I didn't comment on it, but I could not wait to see these. Look at that. He asked me how many I made, and I have to make another one for him specifically. To Josh, I'll come to you. He loved that I chose that inscription. He was very happy with it. He was very happy with the pop itself, and so am I. I He knew about it before I could even hand it to him to sign. That was such a rewarding, amazing experience. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. Uh, the director, Mary Lambert, she saw it on Instagram, and she said very very nice things about it. I was able to let Miko Hughes see it. He saw it on face or on Instagram. Uh, Mary Lambert liking it was next level. Like that was awesome too. But it is signed by Brad Greenquist now. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. So, like I said, this was an amazing experience. This was a great, great weekend. And I gotta thank my family for like supporting me and going to it. Like they had my back, and I love that so much. If you have any questions about any of the stuff you saw in this extremely long video, please ask away. I'll answer anything I can for you. I'm looking forward to going again. And jokes aside, Craig, if you do watch all of this, hats off to you, dude. I can't believe how well of a job you did. And I hope to, at some point in the future, work with you. Till next time, thanks for stopping by.